Sunday night chat. How you doing? You guys doing okay? Woo! Hell of a week, huh? Oh man. Not just like what happened in the country and everything, but also here on the channel because I brought a few things up. One of the things I have to mention to you is like I bring up criticism, of myself or the channel from time to time here in the videos. I don't do it because I'm upset, like I'm losing sleep over it, or I even really care about it that much. I just find it interesting. That's all it is. It's easy for me to see people's mental disorders, and their personality disorders and things like that in their comments, the way that they kind of voice themselves. And also, there's an issue here with people not, which I understand. You missed something. I said something, you heard it a different way, you're reading into things. So I want to address a couple things right from the jump, and then we'll get into Trump and the election a little bit. Not too much, but enough. Meanwhile, I gotta take my shoes off here, man. I run around all morning. I had to go shopping. I had to go to the Trader Joe's this morning. I buy, Trader Joe's got some pretty good stuff, right? And one of my favorite things is in the frozen food section. Can you guess what it is? Take a minute. It's not the ice cream. For those of you who see me eat nothing but ice cream for like 3 or 4 days in a row, it's been a while since I've done that. The Broadwingers. I love these things. No. It's the lasagna. Trader Joe's lasagna. Holy Toledo, man. I mean, it's really, really good. So you guys know, you should know if you don't know. Not that it matters. But I do stew. So I usually do a big vat of stew every week. And I put that in a couple of Rubbermaid containers. In the old days used to be Tupperware. And that's what I eat all week. I come home every night and I reconstitute that with some V8. I bring that to a boil, and then I stop it and I put a little bit of Italian pasta in there. I need a little bit of carb, and I let that sit for about 30 minutes, and it's perfect temperature, and the pasta absorbs the excess fluid, and it's just a perfect dinner. Easy peasy, no big deal. You guys have seen me cook it already. Just remember those videos. But yeah, when I run out of the stew, sometimes I'm doing other things and I don't get the store to buy my fixings to make another stew. So I always try to have, there's two main staples for me. It's become the Trader Joe's lasagna. And what's the other one? Oh, the pot stickers. So those are easy. I just steam them. But I got a trick with the pot stickers. Okay. And it's going to sound weird to you, but give it a shot. Because they're kind of boring, And I'm trying to avoid soy. And maybe it's not the right thing. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. But I figure, I know soy isn't good for you. Soy raises estrogen levels in men. I suspect that a lot of the guys making the comments that are kind of negative in my comments, they're soy boys. That's where that comes from, in case you guys don't know. I'll tell you a story about soy in a minute. So I avoid soy altogether, and so I've been avoiding soy sauce. So instead, when I do the pot stickers, what I do is a barbecue sauce. I try to find one that's sugar-free. It could have honey, and that's fine. But yeah, so I sprinkle some barbecue sauce. Then I crush some pepper and some turmeric and Himalayan salt and pepper and whatever else I put in there. A little bit of thyme, basil, parsley. I think it's the parsley actually helps to raise testosterone levels, I believe, too. So anyhow, there's all these little tricks. And that's easy. That steams 12 minutes. It's done. You're eating dinner. So those are the things, my go-tos when I'm out of the thing. On the soy thing, little thing for you to be aware of. You should look this up so you know it. Again, don't believe everything you hear me say, just outright. You should do your own research on things and look stuff up so you know. I was going through this is a long time ago. This is at least 15 years ago, maybe longer. And I used to take people up to the Hollywood sign a lot on hikes. And one day I had a group of people and And we got to the top, and I'd hand out like some power bars and or maybe some fruit, whatever I had. And at that time, I was hiking a lot. I was super fit. It was ridiculous. I could run up and down the thing. And one of the guys I was with that day, I handed these things out. I forget what brand they were now, but it was soy protein was the big thing. And this gay guy was one of the guys. There was a couple of gay guys on the hike, and this one guy in particular says, "Have you heard about soy? You should probably stay away from it." So because I didn't know about the estrogen levels, but coincidentally, at that period of time, I remember I was having a little bit of a hard, I was going to say I was having a little bit of a hard time, but that was the issue. I wasn't like I've always been. Everything down here works perfect, but something was a little off with it, and I felt like I was getting pudgier and softer and whatnot. And because I'd found these and they were delicious, and I started using them as like a meal replacement. And this was like a few weeks into this, and I was having this other issue, and I couldn't really put it together. But as soon as he said that to me, I went home and I researched soy in men and the estrogen levels and everything else. And I was like, okay, I am now cutting soy out of my life completely. That was the beginning of cutting out CNN, MSNBC, and everything else. That's all soy-based shit. Soy boys. Anyhow, on that note, with the criticism, so I did this one guy in particular. I don't remember the whole thing, but I point out that I'm not a Republican, right? I've never been a party guy. I don't think I've ever registered as a Republican or anything like that. I think I've always been just an independent. I've voted all kinds of ways in my life, and whatever. But in that video after Trump, it's cheap mustache wax here. After he won, I did that video, and I said, I said I'm not a Republican, but then I also said we won. And some guy gave me this criticism, like, well, you say you're not a Republican, but then you said we won, so you just don't want to admit you're a Republican, you're a closet, whatever. Hey, moron. The collective we won. Right? It wasn't just Republicans that voted for Trump. Overwhelming. What has he got? Like 312 electoral votes or more? Won the popular vote. Matter of fact, I'm going to pause this. I want you to take a look at the map. I'm going to post a couple memes here real quick, and then we're going to talk about the last one. All right? I think it's kind of important. Okay, so what you see here is the counties that voted for Trump. I mean, and the map of California is pretty crazy. So it's wild, man. So obviously it wasn't all Democrats that voted for Trump. It was a lot of people. And he won by men. He won with Hispanic men, black men, all. He got a good woman vote as well. So we know what this is, right? We understand here what's going on now. And this has been, I was thinking about it. It's 16 years. 16 years I've been living with bullshit. All right? Since I was 42 years old, I've been watching this because the Obama years and everything else. And all this DEI crap and, the wokeism nonsense and the transgender stuff. And we're going to talk about that in a minute too. And whatever. And I want you to keep in mind, I don't hate anybody. I'm not wishing anybody harm. None of it. Live and let live is all that matters to me. But what I don't like is government getting involved and then creating these situations that make it worse for everybody else. It's just a thing, and it just pisses me off. I forgot what else this guy had said in that note. I should have probably kept it out here and just addressed it all. But it's not that important to me. But I just wanted to make that one point. The collective we, man. So I can't believe I'm even explaining it. So I'm done with that. All right. Now the other one was, let's stay on these memes here real quick that I believe I just showed you. I'm so pro. You can see what happened there. And then there's this other one there where it shows the election from 2020. And if you look at the graph, you could see the votes of Democrats and Republicans, consistently going back quite some time. And then in the 2020 election, you see this crazy number of Democrats excess that came out, which is nonsense. So it's something like 20 million more votes. Well, where are those people? I think some people say it's a count of 15 million that disappeared. 15 million votes just disappeared, which is more proof that goes to that last election not being straight, right? Mark my words on this. More information on that last election will be forthcoming. I don't think it needs to be anything super crazy, but the facts have to come out. I think the facts are going to start coming out on a lot of stuff. The left-leaning meltdowns that have been going on. It's funny to me. I haven't been searching them out. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not like, ooh, I don't get off that much on it. If I see it while I'm scrolling on the computer, it's a giggle, fine. I get it. We've seen it before. We saw it in 2016. So I expected that, of course. What I didn't expect, and what I think is really interesting, and again, if you watch Gutfeld, they've been kind of hammering this. Both Kamala and Biden both have come out since the election and said, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. It'll be fine. Everything's going to be fine. That's the same thing as admitting you've been lying all this time. Because right up until the count, Trump was Hitler. Most evil person in the world, dictator, all these, the same stuff that morons are still believing. They're still like, it's going to be living under a dictatorship and all this other stupid stuff. They still believe it. But now you've got Kamala and Biden come out and say, no, it's going to be fine. And Biden, this is the funny thing, and I think the take here that I've seen out there, I think is correct. He did not want Kamala to win. I mean, that was a coup, the way they took him out. The whole thing with her, she didn't, no primaries, nothing. She wasn't elected into this. The whole thing is crazy that people made it seem like she had a chance. And once again, if you're leaning to the left, I'm not knocking you for that, but if you were sitting around believing it was a close race and you were believing all that stuff and now you know what the truth is, this is just the latest example of people having been manipulated by bullshit, MSNBC, CNN, PBS, NPR, all these crazy people, putting out all this nonsense and you believing it. Because we can keep going back. We can go back to the Hunter Biden laptop. We can go back to the Russian dossier. The Trump is a felon. None of that's going to happen. By the way, there were cases already being thrown out leading up to the election. Some of these felony charges, which the entire thing should have been thrown out just based on the judge and this guy Bragg that came in. The whole thing was a setup. If you are unaware of that, if you're still believing this crazy nonsense, you're the one with the problem now at this point, right? In the age of information, ignorance is a choice. You are choosing to listen to and view the things that you like being enraged. You have now been conditioned to, you need the rage. You need the anger, and being part of a tribe that's angry at one thing is your thing. You really need to sit back and reflect on that. I'm trying to help you out, man. If you're listening to me right now and you're like, fuck you, you're crazy, blah, 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 he's still this, he's still that. Dude, you've lost. Not just this election, but you're losing, period. And you're losing in your life. Get on with your life, man. Yeah, choose to be a happy person. Get over it. All right? This is the way it is, man. And already good stuff is happening. I don't know how true it all is because I'm not really following it, but there's a lot of these funny memes out. So apparently there's already peace in the Middle East over this. All our enemies are coming out and are like, they already know what's going to happen now. One of the terrorist groups even said it, like they're praising Trump. So, China came out and said something positive about it too. So you're going to see. The stock market is already shooting up through the roof just on the expectations of how good the economy is going to be. Oh, that's right. The guy mentioned the wall. He said, the criticism guy, oh, you said he built this much wall, but he didn't. He only did this. Well, what about Mexican paying for it? Okay, Mexico did pay for the wall. They didn't really pay for the wall like, here's a check for the wall. But we were getting so much money out of Mexico with the way Trump had set up business. He had the tariff thing going and everything else. So the extra income we were getting from Mexico did go to fund that. And somebody else said, this woman I was arguing with before the election, and I don't really know her well. She's out here. She's cute. And but she's dumb as a friggin' rock, man. Because she's believing this stuff. And she'll send you, these people will send you these articles. Lies that Trump has told. I read the first one. Trump said he built 520 something miles of wall. He really built 480 something miles of wall. That's a lie? That's like a misspeak. And who knows if they got the numbers right. It's just crazy, man. Like he said he'd do this. He did a crap ton of stuff. You could look it up. I should do that one day and just read it for you because it's just like 60 things. It's insane the amount he got done in 2 years before COVID hit. You know, the pandemic, which was set up to take him out because of all the things that he was doing and kill your fellow human beings. Fauci needs to be locked up. It's so crazy, but all this stuff is going to happen. And he's just going to, you look at what is it? I wish I could remember all the titles. Again, I'm not the political wonk I once was, a decade ago. The Surgeon General, I guess, is that who that person is? That dude that's dressed as a girl with the long hair. It's the ugliest. I mean, I'm judging. I hate to say it. I don't like being that person, but my God. So I guess RFK is going to replace that guy. Like the guy's like in his 70s and jacked. He's going to get us healthy, man. Hopefully he'll do. I've been talking about this forever here on my own channel with how food in the supermarket is poison. It's all these chemicals and everything else. There's stuff that they sell here today that they don't even allow in Europe and other countries. You're eating it. You think when you go to the store, this is the mindset. This is how stupid that they've made us in this country. There's people in this country, they go to the store and anything that's on the shelf they think is healthy to eat. No. But they're the same people that came through the education system in the last 30 years. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like the Gen Xers are like the last group of people that, because we saw it happening. We saw the ingredients changing. We saw the commercials changing. We saw the tide. And this whole thing with the transgender thing. Look, man, when I was in high school, one of my favorite things to do was go see the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I'm just a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania. Ha ha. Hey, hey. Come on. I mean, I saw this coming a long time ago, man. We've been prepped for this shit. It's nothing new. It's always been a thing. It's nothing to be freaked out about. It's just funny to where it got to, you know? And on my transgender video where I was talking about the solution for the sports with the ranking system, I didn't address a couple points. I was specific. I was like swimming, running, track and field, that sort of thing. But yes, clearly contact sports or team sports. I don't think there should be a biological male on the volleyball team, for example, right? Anywhere where there's a chance that you can hit a girl or something like that. Basketball would be a bad friggin' idea, right? Because of checking and everything else. Football. I did mention football. As far as the locker rooms go, yeah, especially in school, as kids, absolutely that's a problem. However, it's an easy solution. I mean, locker rooms are in rooms. Rooms have corners. They're usually square or rectangle, so you just section off a corner, put a friggin' curtain up. It's very simple. Very simple. It's not a hard thing to deal with. I'm with you. I don't think it should be there at all. Okay? You know, there's a part of me that thinks that way, but I'm working within the parameters of what has happened already. Okay? So I'm on your side, man. But I'm just saying, this is what we're dealing with. They're already there. Right? It's like guns. It's like the people argue against, we got to get rid of guns. You're never going to, there's more firearms in this country than there are people. So stop talking about it like that. It's just silly. They're always going to be here now. So you have to work within those parameters. I'm working within the parameters of these people are out there and that's their thing. Now, there's a weird thing here because a lot of militaries around the world are co-ed. So you could be in Europe shaven and next to you could be a woman. She could take her clothes off right in front of you, right? Boobs out and everything, giving herself a sponge bath, washing her armpits and everything in the sink right next to you. Now, I've got friends that serve with these people. You know, they see it. You guys remember the movie Starship Troopers? The men and the women in the shower together? That's a thing, man. And me, if you a lot of you are here because you guys found me because of Sarah, right? Wonder Hussy. First time I met her, not a stitch of clothing on her, completely naked. So that's when in Rome. So the first I spent 4 or 5 days with her naked the whole time. It was awesome. So I'm comfortable with that. That part of it doesn't bother me so much as an adult. Again, not in school. College level and everything else, there's a little bit of a thing there. We're kind of working towards that. You might not be okay with it. I'm not advocating saying it's okay. I'm just telling you these are my experiences, and nudity is not a thing that bothers me too much, personally. But yes, the sexual perversion issue is a thing. Okay? So like a rule could be like if there's some guy changing behind a curtain and then he comes out and he's got a boner, then take a picture of that and then something should happen to him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a different story. I mean, there's a particular bathhouse in a particular town out here that I've been to. We know who we're talking about here, and when I'm in there and I don't like it, guys have stood there and watched me shower. And the last time I was there was some old guy. There's only 2 shower heads in this place. He was on the other one, and he's got a boner. He's taking a shower. He's only 10 feet away from me with a boner, like turn around, swinging it around. And I noticed it, and I looked at him, and I was like, geez. So I have to like avert my eyes from it. But these are the things that go on, man. What are you gonna do? Again, kids are different. Kids are different. No men with the girls as children. With grade school and high school too. I think that's a mistake. Just separate that stuff. I think when we start getting to college, I think things are changing there a little bit. But so to me, that's the thing. So obviously, no team sports, no contact sports. It's just the ones where they can swim or run, or it's an individual sport. I figure that way, at least their scores could be in a database. That was another thing. Somebody said, you want to have a database for transgender? No, that is not what I said. It is specifically for their scores. It's not about them being transgender. That would be all transgenders. I didn't say that. This is what pisses me off a little bit, aggravates me, because people are just ignorant. They're not even ignorant. They're just not listening. You hear the one thing, and then it tees off something in your brain. You're not even listening to the rest of the video. You're already typing a negative comment before you hear everything else I'm saying. And I'm not a journalist, right? I'm not in part of a group of people who's responsible for anything. I'm not sitting here in front of Congress giving testimony. I'm just giving you my opinion. It comes out in different ways, and I'm weaving. I'm doing it right now. So all I was trying to say is that the girls in the swim meets and the running and everything else, they win. All right? The people that are born biological males and now choosing to live as a woman, their score just gets put into a database of scores for those transgender people, so that, statewide, countywide, statewide, countrywide is how it would work. So they have their own ranking system, and a computer can do that. So you'll know, hey, this person won a swim meet in Southern California. Okay. Well, and he came in 30 seconds faster than the fastest female. Well, the fastest female actually won the swim meet. All the females win the swim meet. The second place, third place, fifth place, whatever it is. But that dude, right, who's now a girl, apparently, and who everybody else is buying into that, that guy's score goes into the database, right? And so now we know that the guy in South Dakota, the guy in New Jersey, the guy in New York, the guy in Vermont, the guy in New Hampshire, the 14 guys in San Francisco, all their scores go into that database. And so like they just get an email, or there's a website for them, or whatever it is, a college level thing that says, oh, hey, the guy in Southern California is in the lead right now. That's all. That's all. I think that's a pretty simple way to look at it. And again, you can curtain off an area. And then showers are obviously a thing. So that's no big deal. All right? The guy, you just make an arrangement. Here's the arrangement. All the girls go in and take their showers first, and that other person's got to wait till the girls are done. Or vice versa. That person goes in there first, and the girls wait. Simple. All right? Of course, I'm with you. Some of you are screaming at me, they shouldn't be there at all. They shouldn't be there. It's blasphemy. It's this, it's that. Okay, whatever, man. Fine. I'm just saying, We have to deal with it right now, and this is the only way I can see for you to deal with it right now. There's never going to be enough of them to do a whole team and, you know, a whole league or something. That's never going to happen. So it's going to be a problem. But more of the truth of that is coming out as, unfortunately, as girls get hurt in sport by people who were or are biological males, right? Now wearing lipstick and everything else. So as more women get hurt, as more court cases come up, it was Riley Gaines, her whole story. I mean, you know, as more of this comes out, more and more people are going to side with common sense. And should be an upswelling of support for common sense. Let's make common sense common again. Can we put that on a t-shirt? Bring back common sense. Stupid as consequences. I wrote that down somewhere the other day. It's a good t-shirt too. Because there has to be a lot of people, at least stuff I see, which, you know, I'm watching Fox because I watch Gutfeld. I'll see it there, or some of the stuff I see. People are saying that there needs to be a reset now, and there should be a reset with the media and the fringe on the left. And the Democrats, you need to retake your party, man. You got to get rid of all these cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs people. If you don't, there's still going to be a major division here with us, between us and you. When I say us, I don't mean Republicans. I mean everybody in the country with common sense. Men and women alike. Yellow, black, red, whatever friggin' color your skin is. It's so silly I even got to talk about it. That's what I like about Trump. He doesn't mention the race. He says people. Going to do the best for all Americans. All Americans encompasses all Americans. All legal Americans. Everybody across the board is going to do better, just like they did last time he was president. It's so crazy. It's so crazy and stupid that during this whole election thing, before the election, people were saying on the idiot box all the things that Trump was going to do when he was president already, and he didn't do any of those things. And he could have went after Hillary. He could have. She should be in jail. That excuse me, something in my throat, a little hair. Excuse me. It's aggravating. So yeah, I'm happy. Everything's gonna get better. Right now, I think I might have heard somebody say this, but it makes sense. I wish they could do something right now. I wish Biden would just, you know, call Trump up and go, listen, why don't you just come on over? Why don't you just start making some sit at the desk right now and start making these phone calls and get this shit straightened out. Right, just take over now, because between now and January 20th, all kinds of crazy shit can happen. All right, we got our holidays coming up. We got Thanksgiving, Christmas. Today happens to be the Marine Corps birthday. You can wish me happy birthday. Tomorrow, I guess, is Veterans Day. The 15th November is the day I graduated boot camp. That's the day I earned my Eagle Globe and Anchor, which is cool. That's all happening right now. So anyhow, yeah, so we got Veterans Day. Something crazy can happen tomorrow, right? We got, like I was saying, Thanksgiving and Christmas, of course, New Year's Eve. My birthday falls right between Christmas and New Year's. Because some of our enemies, they're really big on dates and holidays, you know. So it's just something to be aware of. I think we're still, and we're going to be nervous really the whole time Trump is in office, because there's already been a couple of assassination attempts. He has literally been shot already. So, you know, God forbid that happens. We need this guy. And I think now, you know, okay, look. When Trump first came in 2016, he was a big personality. Boisterous, loud, insulting, all the things that make sense to why people were upset with him. For people like me, men who work on job sites and everything, he was just funny to us. But he has toned that way down now. He's not the same guy with that stuff. You can see it. If you don't see it, you've got the Trump derangement syndrome. So many of you have TDS, man. You need help. You need help. You need a friggin' pill or something. Start smoking grass, relax, make friends with people. that are on the other side or think differently, allow yourself to let somebody else speak without interrupting them, and just, let it sink in a little bit. You people need help, man. You've been conditioned to be stupid and have this Trump derangement syndrome. It's a real friggin' problem. You need to get over it. You need to get over it. Because as things get better, I'm gonna report on it here. Every time I see something that's going on, like probably doing that in my Sunday night chats, like, hey, do you see what happened this week? Look at the phone calls made. Look what's happening here. See the price of that went down. You see that's going up. You see we got more stuff happening here. There's more work going on there. I'm going to be bringing it up from time to time, just as a way to point out the good stuff, because I believe there's going to be a lot of good that happens here from this. So at any rate, that's what's happening with that. And for those of you that don't agree with me right now with the positive nature of what I believe is going to happen, and those of you who want to give me grief and write the stupid comments, being a Generation X kid, I stumbled upon a photo the other day, and this is for you. I'm going to share it with you right now, so just don't go anywhere. This is for those of you that are like, and you said we. You said you're not a Republican, but then you said we. And what about Trump building the wall? You didn't do that. This is for you. Don't go anywhere. It's coming right now. All right. I hope you like that. It cracked me up. Anyhow, that's that. What else is happening? I don't even remember what else the hell I did here this week. I'm getting back to work. I've been texting with my sister. My nephew has a girlfriend now, See how long that lasts. Good for him. I got to get out to Arizona. I might be doing a camping trip this week. I'm on the fence. My friend Kirgy's going up to the Kern River with one of her girlfriends. She's like, you should come on Tuesday. And I want to be here Friday night because Netflix has the fight with Tyson and Jake Paul. And, I'm looking forward to that. That should be a good thing. So I'd come back Friday so I can catch that. If I go at all. I'm on the fence because what am I going to do while I'm there? I could bring some stuff to do, but being there with two women that just don't shut the hell up. Just I love Kirgy. She's my friend. I'm just saying. I thought about that today. I was kind of like ready to gear up tomorrow for this trip. And then I started thinking, like, what's that really going to be like when I'm there? I'm going to have to be doing a bunch of hikes by myself all day is what's going to have to happen if I go at all. Maybe I'll bring some of the leathercraft stuff and just do that throughout the day. There's a lot I got to catch up on with that. Maybe I'll talk about that in a second. So, I don't know. I did these sills for these people. Oh, by the way, I just posted something on my Instagram. You can't really see it here, but there's a shelf over here that I put up, and I used a stem from a BMX, a vintage, like it's a Chinese crappy 4-bolt stem. It's steel. So there's the part that goes in the head tube, and then there's a flat deck to it. There's a triangle that supports it. It's all welded, but that's flat on the top. And then there's a cap that goes over the handlebars to lock it down. I just drilled a couple holes in it, used the 4 holes in the bottom of that plate to screw to a board, and I actually put one bolt, one 5-inch lag bolt, maybe less, maybe a 4-inch lag bolt, right into a 2x in the wall. And that shelf's held up perfectly over there. You might be able to see that. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Did that this morning. And I've been doing the sills for these people where I have my workshop. It's a lot of work, man. Sanding out those sills and everything. You might have saw I did a video. It was like less than a minute. It was a short where I've got a vacuum strapped across my shoulder. I'm using the sander. And that was working great for a day and a half. And then the vacuum stopped working, which really pisses me off. I forget what it cost. I think it was a $400 or $500 vacuum. It just crapped out on me, and I don't know what to do about it. I guess I got to take it apart and troubleshoot it, see if I can get that thing running again. But that's a bummer, man. Tools aren't cheap. I've never had much problems with Makita in the past. Vacuums are a whole separate issue. There's stuff going on there. But that's a bummer for me because I had to do the rest of the job without the vacuum, so it was a lot more dust. My nose has been running all day because I've been inhaling dust. I know, wear a mask. It's a thing. It's a thing. Anyhow, I got the sills coated. I got to put another coat on those tomorrow, and then I got to do the front door. I got to do the side gate. I got to do the garage door for them, and then I got to go in their house. They had a roof leak, so the ceiling in the hallway and their guest bedroom and the office bathroom, I got to redo all those ceilings and paint them. So I got something to do. I don't like doing that kind of work, but I got something to do. Kirgy has a thing I got to do over for her in the valley for her neighbor. Do a fence on top of the block wall, double sided. So I'll do that. All this will happen this month, so I'll make a couple bucks at least. And then I got to figure out how to get back to Arizona. My sister's supposed to clear out that house and that garage. There's a lot of stuff in the garage. There was a washer and dryer in there that weren't supposed to be in there anyhow, but she got those out. But there's a bunch of these big bins in there full of stuff and clothes and everything else. And I told her, like, you got to get that out of there. She mentioned she has to put it in storage, and I can't see how she could do that because I know she has a lot of money coming in. My sister has DoorDash for money, and she spends most of her time with her kid. She homeschools her. She's doing the right thing with the kid. I support her. Yeah, I love my sister. But it's tough for her to get everything done because of the way things are. And she just doesn't have a place for all that stuff. But in my mind, I'm thinking, stuff isn't worth a lot, and you don't need it. But coming from me, that's kind of a bold statement because I got a lot of crap, you know. So it's a weird thing, but I need it out. I need it out because when I go there, I got to start bringing some of my machines, and I got to set up a workshop so I can start doing stuff over there. And I really want to get that house going, and I'm really thinking about moving all the time now. So the move is probably going to happen sooner than later. Anything could happen. Anything could change. I mean, like for instance, I'll give you a quick for instance. I was hanging out at the watch shop the other day, and I picked up a watch. I'm going to grab it. Hang on a second. Don't go anywhere. Grab a couple of these. So I picked up this watch the other day, and it's a Seiko. It's from 1990, before they had ISO dive certified specs, and it's pretty cool. And I had this in the shop the other day. Real quick, I'll tell you about what happened over there. This is one from 2000. It's very similar. This one is an ISO diver. This is an SKX 173. You can see the similarities. All right. And I was saying how I want to collect like the line of watches, the Seiko real dive watches that started happening in the 60s, which started with the 62 Mas. And then there was a 62 Mas and there's a 6105 Willard, and this is a reissue of the 6105 Willard. So I have the Willard. Turns out I also have the Turtle. I was saying I wanted to get the 6903 Turtle from the 80s, but I didn't even realize that this Turtle here was the reissue of the original. So technically I have the Turtle. So I'm already in pretty good shape here. So I just want a couple more. I want to have a display with these that are all serviced and working. I can wear whenever I want. At any rate, I was at the watch shop the other day with this watch on. I went in there after work, and this girl came in. And she was really interesting. I liked her style. She had a plain Jane vibe going, blonde hair, blue eyes. She was wearing a LA Dodgers cap with a sweatshirt, but she had pearls on her neck. And I recognized them as being real pearls, and some of those pearls were huge. Jeans and a leather pair of Converse that were like these classic old Converse that had that little bump out with the star, and the star was cut out. It was red behind them, and they were white. They were cool. She was very much like me, is what I'm saying. Her vibe, her sense of style. She kind of had that hobo chic thing going. And she was wearing a Rolex. She had a new Rolex Oyster, what do they call that? The Oyster Perpetual or something? And anyhow, classic Rolex. And she brought in this art watch that had a lapis dial on it that she needed sized. And so while Mike was sizing, I struck up a conversation where we just started talking. She was very, very cool. And towards the end of the conversation, I was curious because I was listening to her. She said she lived in an apartment, and we've both been really into watches for about a year now. We've been spending money on watches, but clearly she's got coin, right? And I asked her, those pearls real? She go, yeah, yeah. And she's wearing a Rolex. She brought this other watch in. She said she owned a Tudor Black Bay. This is a cool chick, right? And I asked her, I said, I hate asking this. It's like the least favorite thing to bring up with people, but I'm curious because she talked about furniture a little bit. I told her I design and build custom furniture, and we talked about YouTube, and she said, "Oh, you got a YouTube?" And she wanted. I said, "Well, take it easy. I mean, if you look at my YouTube, just be advised. I have a habit of pissing people off, you know." And I had a sense about her. She was nice, but I sensed like she might be, on that thing, probably wouldn't appreciate my position on things. Not saying she did or said anything wrong. She was awesome. I could be friends with this person. I don't know how she feels about me, but she was nice. She had a gravity to her. I thought she was older than she is. She's younger. I found all this out because I brought up the furniture thing. She seemed genuinely interested. And then I asked her what she did, and I prefaced it with, "I hate asking you that, but I'm curious because she's got watches that are multiple thousands of dollars a piece, And so she said she makes music, and I thought that was interesting because she didn't seem, as she sees this, it's funny to me because I'm just saying, she didn't seem the type to me because she didn't have that. But then again, I don't know what I'm judging. I don't know anything about the younger generation with music or anything. So I gave her. She wanted my stuff, so I gave her my Mike Z Design and then the at Astro Van Tribe. And I asked her. She goes, "Well, I'm on Instagram and everything. It's called Girl in Red. Look up Girl in Red." She's got over 2 million followers on Instagram, and apparently she's a big deal. And I didn't catch it, but apparently she's Norwegian. I wish I would have caught that because my dad was 100% Greek, but my mother's German, Irish, and Norwegian. And that would have been a fun thing to discuss. But there's pictures of her with a lot of big-time music celebrities and whatnot. And, I'm sorry, this dry lip thing. I'm pulling the skin off my lip that's hanging off of it, so I don't look like a mummy, like a dead body walking around. She identifies as a lesbian. Like, I looked her up, and which is fine. I don't care, but it was just funny to find that out. But what I'm saying is about moving to Arizona, but I'm here. The point is, you never know who you're talking to or who you're going to meet when you're out and about. And I do spend a lot of time in the watch shop now. Just before I left, Gene Kelly's wife, he's not with us anymore, Gene Kelly, she came in with pictures for Mike. I guess he's going to hang him on the wall. And it's funny because one of my old headshots is hanging up in the watch shop. They asked me for it. It's hysterical. So that's my point. And that's the thing about being in Los Angeles. If you hobnob, you go out once in a while, you just never know what can happen. So as much as I'm preparing for this move and I'm going to start bringing stuff over there and be working on the house, and I intend fully to be living there sometime soon, anything can happen here. Weird stuff happens in this town. So, and who knows, man, with this new thing that just happened, you saw the map with all the counties that went red. You saw what's happening to California. I think that with all the good stuff happening, and as long as nothing goes sideways, I think J.D. Vance is a pretty... when I hear people knock J.D. Vance, I'm like, did you see the movie? Did you read the book? That's about as real as it gets. A guy coming up from nothing, struggling, right? I think he went to Harvard Law School, married this a foreign woman, got a great family. He's a nice guy. He believes in, that guy. That's who we want. Speaks his mind. You know, you see him on a podcast, he's just a normal guy. You know, that's what we need. Smart guy who's not really a politician. I mean, yeah, he's a senator, but not for long. Keep in mind, Obama was a senator for 83 days before he ran. All right. And when I looked him up, I knew right away he'd be a horrible president just based on his family, you know? So I'm just saying anything can happen. And because of what's happening right now, maybe there is a place for people like me in this world out here, because I had given up on that a long time ago. I did a whole video why I got out of the film industry, and I don't know how much I've talked about it here, but when I was doing the acting thing, I really didn't like it. I enjoyed doing the work and being part of something, and that was fun, and I'm pretty good at it, but I didn't like being around other actors, you know. I mean, even the famous ones, when you'd hang out with them on set or you'd be at a party and see them around, not a lot of them, like, they're interesting to talk to for a minute, especially when you're young. But when you hear what they're saying, you're kind of like, which is the reason why I distance myself from the whole thing. But the way things are going, maybe there should be a backlash, because we know that the movies that, for lack of a better term, cater towards more of a conservative mindset, or just let's just say common sense, those movies do better. The woke movies do crap. The all-female cast do crap. The female heroine movies that they're doing all the time, where they're all these action hero females, I don't think a lot of them are doing some of them do okay. But most of them don't. So there's been this thing, even the film industry has to understand this. And so that's going to follow along on TV and everything else. Because really, you know, my dream gig would be, you know, hosting some kind of show or something. That would be fun. How much fun would that be, man? I think I've told you guys before, I used to be friends with Huell Hauser, and I used to talk to him about a show because I loved what he did. Sarah kind of does a bit of a Huell Hauser thing. I think it would be neat to do something like that. I remember telling him I'd call it counterculture, because I'd focus more on blue collar people and artists that are more like lowbrow art, you know, which tend to be more blue collar types, which, you know, they could be Democrats or Republicans. The political part of it, I'm only bringing that up because that's what we've been talking about in this video a lot here today. But, you know, people that build custom motorcycles and hot rods, and tattoo artists, and people that make custom jewelry and, you know, sew stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, people that make their own things, crafty type people, and they make a living at it. I always thought that back then I was going to the car shows a lot. And we used to have this thing every year called Blessing of the Cars. And it's old 67 Dodge pickup. It was pretty much a hot rod work truck. And I always thought that's what you do. You go to those events. First of all, they look cool because everybody's rockabillyed out, right? The guy's got the pompadours. You know, the girl's got the vibe. Everybody looks good. So it looks good on camera. I told you guys I watched, on election night, I watched Cry Baby, the John Waters film with Johnny Depp and Tracy Lords and all that. Great movie. Hysterical. But the look, you know, that's the thing. I was watching the movie going, we need more movies with that vibe, that look. You know, that mid-century vibe. Levi's and Converse and engineer boots and T-shirts and leather jackets. And the girls dolled themselves up and the guys look tough, man. You know? So it looks cool. Anyhow, that's what you see usually at the car shows. And swap meets, flea markets, things like that. So you go around. I already have learned I need somebody to work the camera for me. Because if I'm out walking around talking to people, I can't do it and work the camera at the same time. It's just not going to go anywhere. Anyhow, so you go to an event like that, and you're showing in the event, and then you meet people there that seem interesting. And you approach them and go, hey, how would you feel if we came by your studio, your garage, whatever, and did an interview with you? Which is really, for me, a bullshit session. Because I'm not a pro, like, you know, I'm having fun with you. You know, I want to get to know you as a human being, and it's fun. I like to crack jokes and throw a little shade and see how you take it, and it's a Jersey thing. It's something we do on the East Coast. At least we used to. Everybody's too sensitive these days. You meet somebody, and you throw some crazy shit out there, and if they're overly offended by it, you know where you stand with that person now. You know, and you know, okay, Can I or can't I be friends with this person, or what I can and can't say? Can I truly be myself? Now you know. And you try to get that out of the way as quick as possible. I've been doing that here with you since I started. That's why those of you who are here can take it, and the people that are they can't. So, yeah. Anyhow, you meet the people, then you do it. So you would start a show, you're at an event, boom, 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 you meet a couple people, and then the next part of the show, same episode, is you're at their thing, doing it, and you're talking to them about what they do. They show you what they're doing. Maybe we talk a little bit about how you make money with it. Might not want to discuss that. A lot of people fly under the radar, so we can leave that out of it. But the reason I think it's important, why I think it's cool, is because I've been doing it my whole life. I've been working for myself, really, and not working very much. I got to a level where I could charge enough money for what I do, where for me to exist, 4 or 5 days a month, I can survive. I can make enough money to live, So it's crazy. But I believe a lot of people could live like that and do way better. If I was more motivated when I was younger, I didn't know what I was doing when I was younger. I was too busy doing dangerous stuff and screwing off and really trying to kill myself because I was depressed through my actions and the way I was living my life. I was very reckless. It's only on my 50th birthday I had this death experience that changed everything for me. And I'm like kind of a different person now. I have a better outlook. But I'm also older now. And I'm kind of burnt out on working so hard as far as doing the woodworking and I'm not a handyman, but I'll take some of that work on, kind of, if people are willing to pay for a better quality job than what average handymen do. Not knocking handymen. You guys have seen what I do. So, and I have friends. I got one guy I'm thinking of right now. And this guy retired out of the service. Now he's working in hospital. He's working his ass off. But he gets his military pension. He's got money. He's got plenty of money saved up. He owns property in one state, lives in another, owns the house. He doesn't need to be working, and every once in a while you might talk to somebody like that and they might be complaining about their job. And my thing is, what are you complaining about? Walk away from it. You don't need it. You know what I mean? This thing where people are on a treadmill, get yourself comfortable. Think about what you really need in life and live within your means. And have more of a European attitude in a way about life. You don't live to work, you work to live, So my point with this and the idea for a show where you're highlighting these people is, and we know this already, if you're doing something you enjoy doing, it's not really a job, right? So, yeah, the light might be screwed up here because it's so hot. Give me a second here. I'm going to take this shade down. Might get too dark in here now, but that might be a little better. I hope that's okay. I hope you can still see me. So, as I was saying, the idea would be to motivate you to maybe not have to go to a job that you don't like. Maybe not have to go to a job where you don't like the other people. Because there's things that you can do, we can all do, that people are willing to pay for. I think about Robin Crone. I think it's Crone, right? You made me the blanket. You're such a sweet lady. I got to send you something. I'll be making some things in the shop here as soon as I have the time, and you'll see it, and it'll be cool. That blanket she made me was freaking superb, man. Amazing. I mean, she could sell that for a good amount of money. Seriously, handmade, the weight of that thing alone, 100% cotton, the one she made me. Although I noticed something about it. It doesn't keep you warm because it's cotton. So it was really funny about that. And I realized, like, shit, I guess you need like a cotton wool blend or something, or you got to do one in wool or a wool silk, but that could be really pricey. But I did have a message with her the other day, and she specifically said she's not comfortable trying to do a cardigan. I got to find one. I'm still looking for a wool cardigan, kind of like The Dude, man, right? The Dude. You know the movie with Jeff Bridges. I can't think of the name of it right now. But you know the one. Anyhow, she could be making those and making money with it. A lot of you guys have skills that you could be making money instead of going to a gig. Now, I get it. A lot of people take a job because of the benefits. So I can't knock that. I understand that too. But I'm just saying, if you're not happy make a change. Make a change. Easier said than done. I understand. You got to at least start thinking about it, and you have to take action. The last thing you want to be is the person who's complaining about it all the time and not making the change. That's the most annoying thing in the world. I can't stand it personally. All right. So yeah, being here, anything could happen. It'd be fun to host a show or push a product or something and get paid to do that, because clearly I can gab and I can support anything that's good. I do have some products coming. Another company hit me up with these little lights, like flashlights. They look pretty interesting. So when they get here, you guys will see those. And I am open to, doing reviews of products, as you guys know. And I'm always going to be honest about it. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'm going to tell you. So all that stuff is happening. At any rate, let's keep this one short today. I think I'm under an hour. I'm just kind of done. I'm a little wore out. I'm a little tired. I don't know why. This was frustrating making that silly shelf over here. Believe me, I had to drill. What I went through, because I don't have everything here at the house. Like trying to find screws and stripping the heads of screws and not having the right size drill bit and everything else. It was something that if I was at the shop, it would have taken me 5 minutes to drill holes and get all the stuff together so I can mount that thing. Probably took me over an hour up and down in the truck, digging through drawers and containers, looking for fasteners that could work and drill. It was insane. It's really funny to me. At any rate, I'm tired all of a sudden. So we're going to let this go. Have a great day. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And listen, let's stay positive, okay? Let's not rub anybody's nose in this too much with this win, with this election, because they're sensitive, these people. I know you're going, fuck them. They said this, they said that. Screw them. I'm over it. A lot of you were like that. My brother, he said he was going to get a shirt. He sent me a note. I can't remember what he said, but it's pretty friggin' offensive. My brother cracks me up, man. He's a good man, but he's got this tendency. He's a big guy. So he wore t-shirts that said, F Obama, but spelled out, walked around like that forever because nobody's going to say anything to him because he's a big, giant, friggin' over 300-pound guy, like 6'2", big, massive human being, And if you were like, screw you, man, he'd be like, okay, you got something to say about it? Like, what are you going to do? He'll just, twist your head off and toss it someplace, like if you really pushed him. But I think it's the wrong thing to do. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think we need to be putting it out there like that, and trying to purposefully upset these people, because it only makes it worse. And that's what some of these people can't handle it, and then they snap and they hurt other people around them. We got to be nice to one another, even the people that have made your life miserable for the last 16 stinking years. All right. When you're dealing with them, you still got to try to be nice to them on some level. I'm saying try. I'm not the best at it either. If I'm trying to be nice to somebody who has their mindset on aggravating me and pissing me off and trying to make me angry, at some point I'm going to have enough. And then when I give it to them, when I lay into them, it's scary for them, right? Because they're like, oh, but you've pushed me to that. We shouldn't have to do that. Let's just try to be cool, man. So again, I don't like wearing the overtly offensive stuff to purposely try to piss anybody off. At the same time, if you wear a red cap that says MAGA or something on it and they freak out on you, that's crazy. That's on them. That's not offensive. All right? Make America great. If you think that's offensive, you need help. I think we've got to, what's going to happen, man? All these people need to go to some sort of place for help now at some point. I mean, if you're still that person, you're triggered by a red cap or Make America Great or anything, and that aggravates you and sends you off into a tizzy, you are letting everybody else around you know that you are unstable. You're an unstable human being, and you need to seek help. You need therapy and meds, probably, which I hate saying because I don't recommend that for anybody, but you need to pull your head out of your ass is what needs to happen. So let's all be hopeful. Let's all try to be uplifting of one another. Let's all bask in the relief of no longer, dealing with you know, what has been. Let's get past that now. Let's look to the future. The future is bright. Let's all stay positive. Try to be nice. Try to be nice. We've had enough time rubbing. We're taking the higher road. You notice no riots, nothing crazy going on. Yeah, right. They saw it. They knew. The people really running the show there, they knew. They knew what the truth was this whole time. They were just hoping that it would go the other way, and it didn't. And so now they've got to change everything. And this is a chance. This is a chance for us to uplift one another and get positive and bring us back together. I'm praying, man, because we need it. The whole world needs it. We saved the world. It wasn't just about the United States of America. We were going to be marched into World War III. And something crazy could still happen with that. I believe, and I could be wrong. Okay with being wrong. So don't be like, you said this and here's what happened. Nah, 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 nah. Okay, I was wrong. Now we'll deal with that. Because I've been dealing with this BS for 16 years already. All right? I've had enough of it. And by the way, Trump got, was it 10 points higher or something like that? 10 or 20? With the young vote. Like Generation Z. Big numbers, man. Those kids are over it, man. Over it. It's the millennials. The older millennials that are really the kooky ones at this point. So hopefully they'll straighten themselves out. At any rate, I'm sorry. I'm dragging this on longer than it needs to go. That's the end of it. Have a great the rest of your Sunday. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let's see what happens this week. Be a little more entertaining. I should go camping just for the video footage, right? Let me know what you think. If you're around the Kern River and you want to go camping this week, you might catch me up there somewhere. I have no idea where the thing is. I got to find that out. And that's it. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. And thank you for the comments, even the crappy ones, because it's interesting. You give me something else to talk about every single time. So keep it up if that's what you want to do. Bye for now.